Hi everybody, hope you're having a wonderful day, and if you aren't, I hope this video helps. Today, I want to talk to you about how I became more productive and how I minimized procrastination. For 10 years, I was that person that never finished homework until the day before or crammed all my studying before the test. Since then, I've learned to finish work a lot earlier. And with this freedom, I was able to relax more, or I could have used the time towards more things that were productive. So let's get started. Here are some things that helped me be more productive. The first thing that I realized is that productivity is not a single thing. It's a mix of being consistent and focused. Now, a lot of people struggle with just being consistent, and so it becomes this impossible task when you add being focused on top of it. To be consistent, I realized that the only thing that I needed to do was to just get up and do something. I made the difficulty low and I made the task something super simple that I could do in 5 minutes, and this helped me jumpstart whatever project I was trying to take on. I always tell this to my friends and family, but I always tell them about the time when I wasn't really consistent, and to remove the notion that it's totally okay if you try to start something and you still don't get any progress done. The important thing is that every day you try, and as long as you make that effort, you're eventually going to have a good day where when you do jumpstart that task, you'll end up doing a lot more than if you didn't do anything at all. A controversy with this point is, what if we're doing more negative things than positive? Let's say that we try to be productive for a week and 6 out of those 7 days, we end up not being productive, and one day we do. Some people may say, well then what's the point of being productive if I'm going to be unproductive anyway? The key here is to shift that perspective a little bit and realize that you were productive one day where you were going to be unproductive. And that's already doing more than what you would have done if you didn't try anything at all. I know it doesn't seem like much, but trying to do something for 5 minutes or doing anything positive for 5 minutes is progress in the right direction. Little step, big step, it doesn't matter. It's a step in the right direction. So hopefully if you do this for a month or 2 months, you'll start to be a little bit more consistent with jump starting your efforts, and it'll help you finish projects a lot faster, or reach any goal faster, to be honest. And remember, whatever that jumpstart action is, you want it to be easy and you want it to be something simple. It can be opening a laptop, opening a notebook. It can even be bringing your backpack closer to your desk so that you feel more inclined to get something out of it. For me, it was opening whatever website or whatever Google Doc that I was working on, and just putting that on my screen kept reminding me that I had work to do. Now, being consistent is one part of the formula for being productive, and like I said, the other part is being focused. So to be focused, I removed all distractions from my environment. I try my best to put my phone away from my desk when I'm working, and if I have a TV or if I have my computer on, I'll turn those things off so that my eyes don't get distracted with whatever is on the screen. You will be surprised how much this helps, because we never really think about how we start procrastinating or how we get distracted and then 2 hours go by. But if you start to look back, you'll realize that it comes from this intuitive nature to just grab our phone whenever our brains are bored, or to look for a distraction. If you don't believe me, try doing the phone thing and you'll just notice that your hand goes for where you usually put your phone and you'll realize it's not there. If you really need your phone, you can go get it, and if not, you've created this environment that allows you to keep working because you reach for your phone and then you realize, oh wait, I'm supposed to be working. And just like how we trained our brains to naturally subconsciously reach for our phone, we want to be consistent and we want to do these actions to make us focused so that we can get our brain to start thinking in a different way. Similar to how laying in bed makes us think that it's time to sleep, doing these actions that remind us that we're supposed to be consistent, focused, and productive will remind us that it's time to work. And before you know it, it might be 4 p.m. or 5 p.m. You'll subconsciously reach for your notebook instead of scrolling on your phone, and you'll start to get to work almost autonomously, just like how we grab our phones. Now, this is the ideal world, and the truth is that it takes time for the brain to understand what we're trying to do, and your brain might fight back. For me, while I was trying to be consistent and focused, my brain was constantly telling me to reach for my phone or to find any distraction. And when I didn't give my brain what it wanted, I started feeling more sluggish and tired, and my entire body was telling me that I didn't want to be there. But the thing that kept me going was realizing that the work that I was doing was going to pay off in big ways. Whether it was school or my career, I reminded myself that the reason why I was doing all these things was because I wanted to help my family, because I wanted a better life for myself, and during school, to be honest, just to try and graduate. And like I said, it wasn't easy. Even when I put my phone in a different room or I turned off my computer so I wouldn't have anything on the screen, sometimes I would become so bored that I would go to the other room to get my phone, or I would just turn my computer back on so I can continue procrastinating. So it takes time. But after enough days of telling myself that there's a right thing to do and there are wrong things to do, my brain started to slowly understand what times were set aside for work and what times were set aside to relax. And just to mention, even to this day, I'm not perfect. Sometimes I'll check my phone, or sometimes I'll get distracted with a YouTube video. Maybe that's what you're doing right now. But if it's my video and it's your favorite YouTuber, then I guess it's okay. But seriously, overall, it is okay if you mess up a little bit. We're not perfect, and sometimes we just need a little break while we're doing tedious work. The idea is that it's okay to take a little bit of a break, but try to catch yourself as soon as you can so that you can be aware of the fact that you're procrastinating and you can stop yourself a lot earlier and not waste 1 hour or 2 hours. If you catch yourself in this way, then maybe you might stop after 30 minutes, 20 minutes, or realize that you have a deadline soon and you should just put the phone down. So again, the point of catching yourself is to just make yourself aware, and it's okay whether you stop or not. So remind yourself what's right or wrong, make your decision, and just keep in mind that if you do decide to work, you'll get that much closer to finishing whatever you're doing. Now, especially for me, my brain started fighting back even before I started working. Sometimes the hardest thing about me going to the gym was getting dressed. But once I was dressed, it was a lot easier to leave my house. And I bring this example up to bring back the importance of making your task easy. And more importantly, to realize when the task that you chose isn't easy enough. So for example, before I said things like start by opening a notebook. For some people, opening a notebook might be too hard of a task. You have to go get your backpack, which you probably left by your door. And when thinking about getting your notebook, you may think that it's way too far. So the solution to this is to make the jump starting action a lot easier. If opening a notebook is too hard because the backpack's too far away, maybe start by texting a friend and telling them that you're going to start homework. You may not start homework soon, but it's a starting task that makes you think about doing it. Plus, who knows, with that example, you might give yourself an opportunity to work with someone. Your friend might say, hey, I wanted to work on the homework too, let's work on it together. And it's important to realize that this jump-starting action should not be something that makes you productive. Your starting action shouldn't be to write a sentence for your essay. There's nothing that screams jump-starting when you start thinking about your English assignment. Well, if you like English, I guess that would jumpstart you, but for me, I was not a fan. The starting action should be frictionless, it should feel super easy to do, and something that's super quick that you can do every single day. The point is to build a foundation, and again, build that habit so that your brain understands when it's time to work. Now you may be asking, why can't we start with something productive? Well, you can, but this type of workflow that doesn't ease you into being productive can lead you towards burning out. If you jump right into studying, you'll find that 3 hours later of cramming, you'll just be completely burnt out. And you might not have even retained as much if you just slowed down a little bit. I understand that you have deadlines and that you have to start immediately, but physical and mental health is important. So of course, be ambitious, aim for your goals. But the key to a great future and for achieving not just one goal but multiple goals is to have a lifestyle that avoids burnout. And if you don't know what burnout is, maybe I'll do a video in the future. But the essence is that we overwork ourselves to the point where the next time that we work, we're a lot less productive. So far in the video, I've been speaking a lot about how the brain reacts to the things that we do. And along the way, I might have added a negative connotation towards it, and I just wanted to clarify that our brains aren't the enemy, they're friends. In general, our brains tell us when we're doing something wrong, like if we put our hand on the stove, it'll tell us to take our hand off. So in the same way, if you're feeling tired or want to do something else, your brain isn't necessarily telling you to stop. It might be telling you that you need more energy to keep going. When I'm feeling tired, I listen to my body and I listen to my brain. I take a 30-minute nap, I eat a snack, or I even drink some water. There's lots of studies online that gives us tips and tricks on how to stay awake, so just look it up on Google and then maybe try a few out. Everybody's brains and bodies are different, so even though that's what I do to stay awake, yours might be a little bit different. Another thing I learned is that doing your best is different every day. Some days you might not be productive at all, and other days you might be ready to be productive for an entire 3 or 4 hours. It's important to know that if you're having a bad day, you shouldn't tell yourself that you're inconsistent. Everybody has bad days. I have bad days all the time, and it's important in those moments to take things day by day. Understand that you can't do as much today and that you'll pick things back up when you're feeling better. Again, mental health is important and we don't want to burn out. So if you already tried and you're still not feeling it, don't force yourself to do more work. I saw a TikTok that said it's only a failure if you stop. So even if you aren't productive for a day, a week, a month, or even a year, if you don't give up, there's always going to be a day where you can be productive again. There were days where my best was telling myself that I was going to do work and then I would never get around to it. But every day I kept kept telling myself to be productive, and eventually that mentality stuck. The best part about doing all of this is that I gained a level of tenacity. I learned to stay strong no matter what the situation is, good day or bad day. It made me resilient to negative things that came my way, and it taught me how to generally handle negative events in my life. And I've learned that it's a quality that can't be taught in school and is often mistaught to a lot of children and young adults. I remember when I was tired and I didn't want to do work, my parents would tell me that I was on my phone too much or I was playing video games too much. There always seemed to be an external source as to why I wasn't doing well, and sometimes even friends or family would blame it on me, telling me that I was lazy. But looking back, the truth is that I wasn't lazy, it was that my brain wasn't entertained. I mean, me studying or doing work back in school was staring at a textbook or staring at some PowerPoints. There's nothing entertaining about something that doesn't give any visual aesthetics or presents information in an entertaining way. There's a reason why we can stare at TikTok for hours, but we can't stare at our school notes. So my advice for this is to try and learn in an entertaining way. And that's something that I wish that I did a lot more when I was younger. No longer are the days where teachers are our only source of education, and it's important to remember that. If you're studying math, look for a YouTube or TikTok video that explains it a lot better. Saying that teachers aren't great or that PowerPoint slides aren't great is no longer an excuse. We live in the 21st century, we have a lot of technology. Don't let bad teachers or bad PowerPoints get in the way of you succeeding. It takes a little initiative to go on YouTube and type into the search bar, but it's quick, simple, and better than just staring at your notes for hours. And finally, the most important part of all this was to believe in myself. I learned that I was never going to be productive if I never believed that I had the capabilities to do amazing things. I wouldn't even try all these methods that I talked about. So from a person who didn't believe that he had a lot of potential to someone who's still trying to figure it out, you have the potential to do amazing things that nobody else can do. Work through the challenges and know that it's only a matter of time before you get past that obstacle. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And when you're ready, use what you learned in this video to have a better life. If you're still having issues with being productive, I do live coaching sessions and I would love to help you stop procrastinating. You can sign up by clicking the link in the description below. If you liked the video and would like to see more content, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, keep improving, stay productive, and I will see you next Friday. Peace.